Today, in this Lost Book of Herbal Remedies review, I'm going to try to answer the question that I know is in the back of your mind. Is this book worth the purchase price of $37? You're going to meet the author, Dr. Nicole Apelian, and then take a short guided tour through the book itself. I'll also explain how simple it is to get your money back if you're not 100% satisfied with your purchase. Ready? Let's begin. I'm Cheryl White. If you're as concerned as I am about where this pandemic will ultimately take us, then I invite you to take a hard look at the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies, because it contains everything you would need to know if suddenly you couldn't run down to your local pharmacy and get what you need. I've seen it mentioned in several of the Facebook groups that I'm in, so I decided to take a look. From the sales video, it looked good enough that I decided to spend the $37 to buy the digital version. After I'd spent an hour or so browsing the PDF, I was so impressed that I went back and bought the print version as well. The book was written by Dr. Nicole Apelian, who is a biologist, an author, and a traditional skills instructor. She's also worked as a tracker, a game warden, and as a field biologist in the Kalahari Desert. At 29, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and spent months in a wheelchair. During that period, she focused on changing her diet and developing a healthy living strategy. Although she still lives with that diagnosis, she now maintains an active, healthy life. And today, she travels the world teaching her skills and philosophy in colleges and survival schools. She now lives in the Pacific Northwest with her 2 sons and makes her own herbal medicines from her herb garden and what she harvests from the wild. Nicole was also a challenger on the 2nd season of the History Channel's TV series Alone. She thrived in the wilderness totally solo for 57 days with little more than her knife and her wits. I've bought a lot of digital books over the years, and this one is organized the best that I've ever seen. The actual content of this book is in 6 sections. The first is the Medicinal Herbal Reference Guide. This section is arranged by category. For example, in the bones section is osteoporosis. You can see that each plant that relates to osteoporosis is listed along with the page number. The next section is how to harvest the healing power from plants. When we click on it, we learn how to harvest herbs, how to dry them, and how to process them into capsules, infusions, teas, salves, syrups, and poultices. The next section is backyard plants. There are over 100 of the most common medicinal plants listed in this section. These are the plants that you might find volunteering in your backyard or in a neglected flower bed. On this page are 2 excellent full-color pictures, a medical uses section, and a warning of how not to use the plant. Now let's go back to the table of contents and look at another very common plant in this section, cabbage. Did you know that cabbage is great for treating ulcers and cancer, and that sauerkraut is beneficial in treating diabetes? Neither did I. The next section is forest, scrublands, and woodlands. This section lists 79 medicinal plants that most commonly volunteer on land that has been cleared, but over time has been let drift backwards, being overgrown. Some examples are abandoned homesteads, neglected pastures, and vacant lots. There you'll find plants like ginseng, bloodroot, mayapple, and wild ginger. Let's look at the second listing in this category, ginseng. Did you know that ginseng has many benefits for diabetics as well as erectile dysfunction? I didn't know that. This next major section is trees and shrubs. Let's look at the fir tree, which is commonly marketed as a Christmas tree. You can use the resin as an antiseptic bandage over cuts and scrapes. You can put it on chapped lips and cold sores. And as a tincture, it's good for coughs and sore throats. The next major section covers mushrooms and lichens. The average person knows little to nothing about these plants, and that's a tragedy because they're some of the most useful medicinal plants to be found in the wild. The next section is water-loving plants. Let's look at cattails. If you had to survive 3 months in the wild with no access to a grocery store, then cattails would probably be the most beneficial plant that you could possibly find. The cattail itself can be boiled and eaten like corn on the cob, and the roots are a great source of edible starch. They can also be boiled to make a healing poultice for burns, boils, cuts, and insect bites. The jelly-like sap that seeps out of the lower stems can be used as a numbing agent for when you suffer from a toothache, and the fiber in the leaves can be used to make rope and cordage. It was a bit of a surprise to see this next section, Household Remedies, explaining medical use for items that just about every household has, but probably never considered to be medically useful, such as activated charcoal. It can be ingested to detoxify the body, to remove chemical poisons, and as a treatment for food poisoning. You can also mix it with aloe vera gel and use it to treat acne. The last section is the appendix. Every medical condition and all the medicinal plants are listed alphabetically. Sales for the Lost Book are processed by ClickBank LLC, and everything sold by them comes with a no questions asked 60-day money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not satisfied with your purchase, contact ClickBank and they'll immediately refund your purchase price. I've been buying information products for years through them, and on occasion I've requested a refund for something I'd bought. Without fail, the money has always been refunded within 48 hours. If you decide to purchase the Lost Book through my link, I will receive a commission, but the book is of such high quality that I would recommend it even if there were no affiliate program.